Hey, hey, hey. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I could. No, my hair is a train wreck. All right. Just because y'all are used to this. Hey, everybody. That's your 12:20 Central Standard Time. Good morning. Um, I wanted to show y'all. Why did I put that so close to my face? Anyway, I wanted to show y'all. Hey, Annalise. Here's my setup, and again, I'm at a customer's house. I feel some need to like explain because you'll see all these ceiling fans, and this is not my house. Anyway, I thought I'd show you what my usual setup is. So if you've been thinking about, I'd like to have just a simple cell phone setup. Now, I'm a big fan of Joby. They make the Gorilla Pods. This one in particular is what they call the 5K. Now, I have a 3K and I have the 5K. The 5K can hold a lot of weight. Okay, probably your average DSLR camera with a good size lens on it. But I just like it because it's stable. And it's pretty good size. I mean, from here down to the bottom, the top down to the bottom is probably 12 inches. Okay, and it's got the ball head on it. But for my cell phone, what I use is a Me Photo. This thing right here. It is pretty cool. And if you have an iPhone, mine's an 8 Plus, the iPhone 8S Plus. So if you have the plus size phone, you're going to need to make sure if you order this off of Amazon that you order the it's called the Me Photo 360 or something like that. But make sure you get the plus. Otherwise, it won't fit your phone. But anyway, this is my cell setup. Plus, I have a battery bank, and I have an aftermarket, an extra long cable doodad. So let me lock y'all down. I will turn y'all around. And hang on. Pow. So, all right. Now, I told some of y'all I was going live. Okay, I've got to do something about this. This light. Wonder if I can. Hey, Gordon. Let me see if I can. Hang on. Does that kind of help? I don't want to. Okay. I can't stand it, y'all. This fluorescent light is killing me. Okay. Maybe that kind of helps. I can't tell. It's brutal, I'm telling you. I could move it back over there, but then it's not as, I'm on a flat surface. I'm on a, Gordon, I'm on a flat surface. Oh, this is what I had to do before. Okay, hang on. Sorry, read the ads. There we go. Okay, that's a little better. That's a lot better. Something about having my back to the door. So that natural light coming in, you got the collision of the fluorescent light, just really doesn't make a pretty picture. And I got the golden retriever behind me that doesn't know what he wants to do. Okay. No, what it is we were talking in the Bigfoot lounge, and Annalise, I don't know what all they were talking about, but she made a comment and it got me to thinking, because there's no hate involved, but because I've been on the end of law enforcement versus versus the other end of it as a citizen. It got me to thinking about a particular incident that happened as a police officer. It was probably about 2 months before I decided to retire. Do you need past me? Come on, go. All right. We now have the golden retriever out of the way. And when I did this live just a few minutes ago, we had a person named Jamal who popped in and then called me a honky, which I was not offended by. I actually found it to be funny because I haven't been called a honky or anything close to it since I was a police officer. So for being retired for 7.5 years, I thought it was awesome. So kind of took me down memory lane. And then that, you know, just kind of got me all fired up. So I miss you, Jamal. I hope you come back. Keep it clean, but you can come back. So anyway, here's my story. Here's what brought me to, I wanted to tell this story, and it has to do with police-involved shootings and how the public tends to sometimes question our judgment, which is fine. It's fine, okay? And so here's my story. Now, mind you, I am 6 months removed from working a co-worker's homicide. Okay, it was a domestic gone bad. The husband shot our officer, female officer, in the head in a domestic. And I didn't realize that that had really changed me, okay? And plus, I was just emotionally drained anyway. I'd been there over 21 years, and that was the first time that ever happened. So anyway, so here I am, 6 months from that deal, and I am in the back parking lot of the police department. I am minutes from logging off because I work 6 to 2. And so one of our undercover guys came on the radio, asked dispatch, do you have a unit that could assist us? And so now our department's in the center of town, literally, and where they were and where they needed an assistance was on the far west side of town. And I'm sitting there thinking, come on, y'all, somebody needs to pipe up, because I think I was about to go on like vacation time. I was going to have like 9 days or 11 days off, okay? And I am sitting in the parking lot just waiting to hit the button to sign off. And here's the thing, you can't leave an officer hanging. So if somebody, and those guys never asked for help, so if they actually got on the radio and says, hey, do you have somebody you could send to assist us? You can't leave them hanging, okay? There's a reason they're asking for another officer. And I'm sitting there going, come on, man, somebody needs to pop up. So finally I just grabbed the radio and I said, you know, whatever my number was, 260, I'll be in or out. And off I go, you know. And I get all the way over there to the other side of town. And I don't have a clue why they need another officer. I don't have a clue why they're at this house. It's in a normal residential brick home neighborhood, okay? I don't have information. I just know they need an officer to help them. That's all I know. As I tell this, you know what I know driving down the street, kind of in a hurry. I get there, and as I'm walking up, they've got the glass storm door, and the interior door's open, and of course, you know, you got to open the glass door. And I see a girl standing outside playing on her cell. Well, she wasn't playing. I think she was texting or talking on her cell phone. And I see one of our plainclothes guys walk across the front of the door, and he's got his sidearm. He's got it out, but he's got it down by his leg. And I'm like, okay. So I'm one of these that when you see another officer and they have their weapon out, you follow suit, okay? Because there's a reason they have felt the need to have their weapon at least unholstered down by their leg. You follow suit. You'll ask the questions later, okay? So I walked in. I said, what are we doing? And they're like, we know this guy's in here. Okay, well, what do we, I mean, I'm kind of like, okay. And they're like, and what they wanted was for someone to post up right there at the front door. And what it is when you walked in the front door, there was like about 6, 7 foot of wall, and then it went to a hallway. And they needed someone to stand right there to watch the hallway and the front door, okay? That's where I stood. And I said, what do we got on this guy? What do we got on this guy? You know, because I kind of want to know. I mean, we're walking around with our guns out down by our leg. What do we got? Well, it was an aggravated sexual assault of a child warrant, okay? It's a felony. And so they're like, we know he's in here, because they had seen like the mini blinds move or something. So they knew the guy was in there. They just can't find him. And this is probably a 3 or 4 bedroom home, all ground level. And I'm real funny about turning my back to stuff, okay? Even now in a restaurant, I will sit in a booth or at a table to where my back is to the wall and I can see out. It's just the way I'm made, okay? I may not be able to do anything but shoot the finger, but I want to see. I don't like having my back to something. And so I'm left-handed, but I'm gun-sighted right. I'm ambidextrous when it comes to certain stuff, and that was one of them. I'm very left-handed, I write left-handed, I bat left-handed, but gun was always on the right, and it was natural, okay? So I take my gun out, and the way our rigs were, you know, we had pepper spray, our taser, I had my extra gun magazines, and you could rest your arms, and plus my vest was on, and I wasn't this heavy. But anyway, you can just kind of rest, and I had my flashlight out. And you can just rest in a low ready, kind of like this, okay? And it's just resting on my rig. And they had assured me they had checked the dining room, all the kitchen, the laundry room, and the living room behind me. That way I was a little more comfortable, you know, turning my back to this stuff. But they were more concentrated on the bedroom doors, because one of the bedroom doors, or 2 of them, were locked, okay? And for supposedly nobody else being home and you got 2 locked bedroom doors, okay? So I'm sitting there in a low ready. I have turned because I wore a lapel mic, so my radio, I turned the radio down almost to off, but it's still just barely low enough that I can hear if I need to, but they're not talking on the primary channel. And nobody's really talking on the radio anyway. Well, another officer had dropped by. And so he's helping them search, okay? And I'm standing there in the cross point, you know, where 2 angles come together. And immediately, literally about 3 walking steps in front of me is a hall door, a closet, and then next to it is a set of accordion doors, which I guess was another closet. I mean, there were like 2 closets, 2 different doors. And I see Cody. He's got his gun out, and he walks up to the regular closet door. And I see him put his hand on it, and he goes to turn it, but it doesn't move. Okay? And he takes his hand, he withdraws his hand, and he checks the accordion doors. Now, literally, at the split second he does this, I don't think anything about it, because doors are locked. But it's not dawning on me, that's a closet door. Closet doors don't have locks on them. Okay? Keep that in mind. So anyway, the hall goes down, and it T-intersects, and then bedrooms are on either side of that hallway. So I'm sitting there, and it's very quiet. And then all of a sudden, I hear the faint metallic sound that I'm literally just kind of looking ahead. I'm looking left, I'm kind of looking back to that glass door, and when I hear that metallic sound, I'm like, I knew it came from that closet. Okay? And now I'm just like fixed on it. And now I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give up where I'm at. But I'm still staring at this door. And then when I tell you, sorry, someone texted me, all of a sudden, and I mean in a flash, because what it is, I don't know if I can demonstrate this. Let's pretend I'm in the closet. And let's pretend I'm the bad guy. The officer's over here. In order to open this closet door, it's got to swing out this way, which means as the door swings out, I've got to come around it, okay? What I don't know that's about to happen is idiot, and I'm being nice too, because I want to call him something else, is in the closet hiding. And what he had done was he had taken a different doorknob with that little centerpiece, locky piece, and put it on that closet door and put the locky piece on the inside of the closet, okay? And so what he thinks is the coast is clear, because he knows the last thing he heard was that officer putting his hand on the doorknob. He doesn't know I'm standing there like 3-4 feet away, because I'm not making any noise. I don't have any reason to make noise. But when he made his noise, and it was very faint, but it was enough that I went whoop, and I'm watching. All of a sudden, it was like a gust of wind. He had unlocked that centerpiece, that's what I heard. He has very quietly turned that doorknob, and he blasts out of that closet. And as he's coming around that door, he's got something dark. That's all I know. He's got something dark in his hands, okay? Let's pretend my white napkin, snot cloth, let's pretend my napkin is his dark object, okay? When he came around that closet and he's flying, all I see is something dark. And when I tell you, it startled me from that deep, dark chamber of my soul. My biggest fear has always been shooting somebody when I was working. I didn't want to have to shoot anybody. I didn't want to be in that situation, but it comes with the territory when you're a police officer. Of course, because I've already got my gun out, I mean, action is faster than reaction. But unfortunately, I'm reacting to the noise and what he just did. When he came flying around that door, and I threw my gun up, and I said some things I wouldn't repeat in church, because that's what just comes out of me when I'm startled, okay? And it's the volume in which I yelled got my buddies in the back attention, because they never hear me yell like that. And I'm yelling, you know, I think I yelled, MFer, get on the ground, get on the ground. And it was the way it came out of me, because it came from a very deep place in my diaphragm. In that split second, I had to make a decision to shoot and hope I'm right, or not shoot and hope I'm right. Because let me tell you, as it turns out, all he had in his hand was a cell phone. But I had to make that decision faster than you can imagine, and because it happens that fast. My finger's on the trigger. In fact, because I carried a Beretta, I was able to, it's a safety, but it also decocks the trigger. I had actually pulled back some on the tension, my finger on the trigger, because I was fixing to shoot his ass. Because all I saw was something dark in his hands. And what do we normally associate something dark in the hands? A gun. But here's the thing, and I didn't shoot, and I was right not to shoot. And I'm telling you, there's not a stopwatch fast enough to calculate that decision. It's the wonder of the human brain that God gave us. Of course, the officers, they came, and I mean, boom, they knocked the crap out of him, put him on the ground. And I'm going to tell you, of course, I'm pissed. I am so pissed, because he put me in a position, I almost killed him. Because we were so close. When he came around that door, he was within a yardstick and a few inches. I could have driven my gun into his chest. And I'm telling you, if I would have shot him, it would have hit. I wouldn't have missed, and it would have all been up here. But I'm going to tell you how the news would have reported it. That a 21-year veteran officer shot and killed an 18-year-old who was armed with a cell phone. That's how it would have been reported. They weren't standing there in my shoes when all of that happened. They're just going to produce headline grabbers, attention grabbers, and people are going to go, you mean to tell me that an officer with 21 years experience can't tell the difference between a cell phone and a handgun? They need more training. She needs to be fired. She needs to go to prison. Okay? That's how it goes down in the media. So I've always coined the phrase, you shoot and you hope you're right, that it was the right call, or you don't shoot and you hope you're right and it doesn't kill you. Okay? Because what if I hadn't have shot him, I hesitated for a split second, and that was a gun, he'd have got me. And I'm going to tell you, nobody loves me more than me and Jesus. And I'm going home at the end of the day. That was always my mentality. That was always my personal philosophy. But now I'm getting wound up because here's the deal. I love educating the public from our standpoint as police officers, because unless you've done the job, you don't know, you don't get it. Okay? And just like I've never been a nurse. I've been around nurses my whole career, but I'm not a nurse. But each segment in society, in that workplace, we all have a camaraderie. We look out for each other. Now, I'm not going to cover your boo-boos. Let me tell you, if you're out here jacking around as an officer and you're crossing the line, you're violating people's civil rights, I'm not going to have your back. I'm not, because you're not taking me down with you. Okay? But if you're in the right and you're performing inside the boundaries that we're given as peace officers, and a bad result still happened, you're going to be supported criminally, legally. That's why we have attorneys on retainer that we pay a law enforcement dues for. A lot of us belong to CLEAT or the FOP. You can look those up. And FOP is Fraternal Order of Police. CLEAT is a Texas thing. It's Combined Law Enforcement. I don't remember what all the rest of it was, but I paid my dues. I think I was FOP. But they have attorneys on retainer if we ever get in a legal situation. That's what your dues has been paying for. So, but that's how fast a situation can go super wrong. And I'm telling you, the media would have reported it, that I didn't know the difference between a gun and a cell phone. All these years of experience, and you can't tell. You just don't get it, how fast it happens. And if you hesitate, it could be your life. If you hesitate, it could be your beat partner's life. And thank God I didn't kill him. And you know what that little idiot said on the ground as he was laying on the ground after they smacked him onto the living room floor? He goes, I didn't have sex with her. Because it started out, and parents, you need to monitor your kids' cell phones. It started out texting, sexting, images, and then they met up. And this girl was 14, probably looked older. I think he was only 18. But in the state of Texas, a 14-year-old cannot give consent to have a sexual experience. She can't have sexual intercourse. Even though she may willingly participate in it, the state does not recognize their consent. So it's a felony. It's sexual assault. But he was going, I didn't have sex with her, because he had heard our conversations out in the hallway. He was so stupid. And I'm like, you've totally missed it. I was so mad, because I'm like, and they cuff him up, and they're heading out the front door with me, and they're headed to my patrol car, and I went, put him in Cody's. I was so mad, because he just took every last bit out of me that I had to give for that day. and I mean drained me. And I thought, I just want to shoot you for general purpose. Can I just shoot him in the leg? I just want to shoot him now. Now that I didn't have to shoot him then, now I want to shoot him. Just because he's stupid. That's how it made me feel. But those are real emotions. And now there are officers out there who fall through the crack in the hiring process. They get out here, they start out okay, and then once you answer call, now we were assigned beats and we had the same beat partners. Now we all had different sets of days off, but for the most part you worked with the same little group of people all the time in your little area, okay? And once you answer calls with somebody over and over and over, you get a good, healthy understanding of where their mind is, where their moral code is, their standard, their ethics, everything. And when you start to see that somebody, when it gives you that bad feeling like, oh God, we're going to be in internal affairs, I literally, something inside of me was always like, I do not want to answer another call with this person. I do not want to be on another call with this person. But you couldn't get out of it because they work in either the adjoining beat, and you just can't get around it, you know? And this sense of dread, and this actually happened to me. There was a guy, he doesn't work at the PD anymore. He actually did something stupid on his off time, and it got him fired. Thank God. But that's what I'm saying. You have to kind of ride it out a little bit, but there are some morons that are in the business that if you just give them time, they'll weed themselves out, okay? But he was able to perform his job. At times, he was pretty decent at it. But it was the way he talked to people. He talked to them, even if they were a victim. And I didn't appreciate this. And like, he would be the primary on the call, but he would talk to people that made them feel like they were stupid. And that's not right. But he would do that, and there I am standing there like in the presence of this, and you know, you're sitting there stuck going, you just want to turn to him and go, dude, shut up. That's what you wanted to do. And this is to another coworker, okay? But I mean, and what changed my mind about this guy was a family violence call we went to, and it was the way he treated the victim. And I thought, for the life of me, for as long as I can, I will avoid somehow, I don't care if I fake a case of diarrhea, I'm not going on a call with this guy again. I don't want to be associated and then have to be called to the sergeant's office to explain what happened, what was said, you know. Of course, now we've got, they wear body cameras, and I'm glad, because that would have put an end to it that time on that family violence call where he was not cool with this victim. A victim, okay? So there are officers who have no business being in law enforcement. They will eventually weed themselves out because they will just give it time. They'll fudge up. They will fudge up. It's coming. It's destined for them. And it's hard. You know, it's hard to work with those people because they'll handle other stuff just fine. But you can tell what starts to get under their skin, and then they kind of execute that on the next call or whatever. And you're like, you just don't want to be in the same room with these people because they have a terrible work ethic and a moral problem. So anyway, that was Popo time. And what had happened was, we were talking about, I don't remember, we were talking about an RV that I posted in the closed group, and then someone said something about, oh, you know, we can add guns to that or something. I was like, it's made in Australia. I'm sure y'all can, you know, I'm just like reciprocating the conversation. And then a comment was made, and it was not ugly. So don't even think, you know who you are, and I'm not, there's no offense taken. But the comment was made, you know, we have to fear cops. And I'm like, why would you feel you need to fear cops? And then that's what got me to thinking about, because the comment was made, because you know I'm not saying names. I'm not going to say names. The comment was made, or the reply was made, because y'all shoot first and ask questions later. And I was like, well, if that was the case, I'd have just shot a whole bunch of people and I'd never asked any questions. Because there were just some people just needed to be shot. I'm telling you, just, you know, you called us for the 100th time. I'm telling you, it just, people today need to be glad it's not the old West in the 1800s. Because I'm telling you, you know how they just, someone just mouthed off in the saloon and they would just go, you still have that feeling, but you can't do it, okay? Or you won't retire. You'll be inmate number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in segregation. So anyway, that was my Popo time story, and I just wanted to share that being put in a deadly force situation, it's not fun. It happens, and you either shoot and you hope you're right, you're justified, it was a good shooting, or you don't shoot and you hope you're right, and basically it doesn't cost you your life. So anyway, that was Popo time. Thank you for being a part of Popo time with your local pet sitter, who's now retired. Thank you, Jesus. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys. I will read all the comments later. I'm too far away. I couldn't ever read them, so I wasn't ignoring you. I just wanted to tell the story, and I'll read the comments later.